another episode of Beers with Peers. I'm your host, Sandia. Today we have a very talented guest. He's a photographer, videographer, and the co-owner of the clothing brand Atrocity. You can usually catch him behind the lens. Please welcome the very talented Valence Hartlock.
Thank you.
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very good.
Let's just get right into it. You're not a huge drinker.
No.
You right before this, you claimed to be a very lightweight.
Correct.
So we pre-gamed a little before this, and you already felt a little tingly. So we're gonna see how this goes. So cheers.
Cheers.
And I'm gonna give it a little smell.
Me too.
It smells really appley.
Yeah.
Very apple.
Very apple.
It doesn't really taste like anything.
It tastes like, all I taste is my toothpaste.
There's like a taste at the beginning, and there's really nothing else.
Yeah, it's like we're drinking blank substance.
This is nothing. I don't know what the fuck this is. Anyways, so before we get started, really quick thing is, you are dressed so fresh, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
Look so great. Got the botas on, the flare pants, the vest, everything. Your style is fucking amazing.
I appreciate it.
And
we came matching in colors and tones.
it just happened. We didn't plan this.
Yeah,
It shows me behind. Hey, what are you wearing, man?
Yeah, we coordinated the outfit before this.
So I'm wearing orange. Speaking of clothing, like we mentioned, you co-own a clothing line as well, Atrocity. Tell me a little bit about that. How did it get started?
So when I was 18, I started a brand with my friend Angel. We were fresh out of high school, and we've been creatives for a very long time. I was already working on my creative stuff for like 5 years. So for 4 years, I was just shooting for fun. So on the 5th year, I got a little bored, and I was like, you know what, I need a reason to shoot. So I threw an idea at her. I'm like, why don't we start a brand? And she was a makeup artist / hairstylist. I'm like, you can do the hair, the makeup, and I'll take the pictures and we can promote. Like, we'll have a reason to do a photo shoot.
Yeah.
So we kind of launched that. We already had, like, at the time we were already dressing our own way, and people would always compliment us. So we're like, okay, they like what we're wearing, and we usually DIY'd our own clothes. Well, why don't we start selling that clothes? And we thought of that idea, and it was like 5 years later, we're doing it full time.
Do you enjoy? I'm assuming you enjoy doing it.
I love doing it.
Yeah, you're creating your own fashion at that point.
Does.
Yeah, we were looking at some of the clothes. I'm like, what I appreciate the most is the Lou Reed shirt. Yeah. I love the Lou Reed shirt. And then you posted recently your free mustache rides.
Yes.
And I'm like, I need to get that shirt.
Yes.
I need to get that shirt.
We want attention calling shirts, like, for the exact same reason. For those people that struggle with maybe wearing like a full bold outfit, maybe they can wear a really bold shirt.
No, that shirt, I love that shirt. I'm like, I need the shirt. I need to buy this shirt. So you mix up both your two mediums, like we talked about, you do photos, video, and fashion. You kind of mixed the fashion with the photos, of course.
Right.
And how do you go about kind of like weighing both of them together? Like, because sometimes it's like using two different things. It's kind of hard to kind of separate them and kind of like put one before the other, or kind of balance them out.
I am very aware of both being two different styles. Like, so I definitely do have to separate them, because when I shoot for Atrocity, I do shoot more commercial. So like, I shoot commercial of fashion, and I feel like there's so many like subgenres to everything. So when I'm shooting for clothing, I'm obviously shooting for t-shirts, and I'm not shooting for a full person. Like, when I shoot my individual portraits, I'm making the person stand out, not a product.
Exactly.
So when it's for a clothing brand, I'm making the product stand out, not so much the model. The model does stand out essentially with the picture, but essentially I'm making the product stand out.
Yeah, because the model's there to basically emphasize what they're wearing, to show it off. Like, this is how someone would look.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna say, man, I wish I was wearing that. That's the point of it. Yeah.
Versus when I shoot with like individually for when it's like a commission.
Yeah, like the portfolio, the portraits, things like that.
Okay, they're hiring me for a photo shoot. I definitely try to emphasize them in the photo.
You want to spruce it up in a different way.
It's like, okay, they are the main person. So it's a small notice detail, but I definitely take notice in that detail, which helps me give such drastic looks.
Yeah.
/ keep it the same.
No, I feel you 100%. Let's finish some more beer.
Okay.
Oh, the fun.
It's very gassy.
It is Ruby Redbird. It's a ginger and grapefruit beer.
It's actually very good. Like, as in the flavors cancel themselves out, huh?
0% fat, 3.1 carbs, and 4 ounces of alcohol. It makes that
Thanks
apparent.
for counting the carbs for me.
Thanks for
guys.
counting the carbs.
Yeah,
No,
that's
thanks
in
for
my
the
carb
carbs,
range.
man.
That's in my carb range.
Alrighty, so that beer's a little darker.
Yeah.
Doesn't look that bad. Let's just get right into it, my friend. Salud.
Tastes like apple juice.
Kind of like an IPA. If it's not an
With
IPA,
like
I always say an IPA, and it's usually never an IPA.
It tastes like rocks. Sorry. Like rock water. Yeah.
So you put a rock in the water, and you're just like, all right.
Yeah, you guys simmered that in rock, that apple juice in rocks.
So we talked about your style, and now we're talking about your style, your photography. So you have a very distinct style of photography. It's very vintage, that's retro. It's kind of reminiscent of 70s, 80s, 90s, and even a little bit like before that too. Tell me a little bit about why you kind of chose that style.
I was always like attracted to all of that when I was very young. My parents, I grew up with older parents, so my parents were actually from those years. And growing up, seeing them and the things that they grew up with was a whole different world for me. So I feel like that was definitely a huge inspiration for my work, because I wanted to give that same feeling of almost a world that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So like when you look at your parents' photos, they kind of give you there's no way this could ever happen again, it just doesn't exist. So that feeling, I wanted to reciprocate that in my actual work. So I like studied old pictures, the way the grain looked against the skin, the way the colors saturated next to each other. Just looking at all those things were the main inspiration to my style, and I just kind of owned it and took it. And after a few years of practice, it just kind of enveloped into this like own style.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's a very unique style for
Thank you.
most photographers that do like portrait style photography. Is usually your standard, like especially out in Arizona, it's like your desert landscape or your
Right.
downtown landscape, things like that. Very
Yeah.
conform to that norm, but yours is a lot different than most photographers.
And it's been for quite a few years. A lot of people don't know that is that this exact style that I have currently, I was doing and executing in 2012. Like,
Really?
exact same style, and people didn't receive it as good back in the day. People thought it was too weird, it was too high fashion. People didn't really know how to accept high fashion in that time. But I was inspired by high fashion magazines and high fashion photographers at that age.
Yeah.
I was exposed to them at a very young age, so I had very big inspirations, like from big magazines and big photographers and big celebrities. I wanted to be able to create what they were putting out, because if they have a camera and I have a camera, why do their pictures look different? And my task was to find out what exactly was it that their pictures needed to come out that way. And I just studied and practiced until I got the same form. I created my own formula and got my own result.
No, honestly, your photos look, like I said, really phenomenal. Like I can't do anything like that.
Oh,
Do you
thank
shoot
you.
on a regular camera, or do you shoot on?
Yeah, I shoot different. I feel like every shoot I shoot differently, but I primarily shoot in digital just because I'm more of an editor, graphic designer. So when I'm editing, it allows me to have more.
Got you.
Right.
Okay, that's really tight. So it's just the way you edit that.
It's just my. Editing
But that's
is
still really like, it's still a style to edit, and that's like, I mean, like you have to do both.
It's like it's before a photographer, I'm a graphic designer. I started off as a graphic designer.
Oh,
first.
shit.
Yeah, and then when photography came, I was able to implement that just perfectly fine. So anything I saw, that's why it was easier for me to be like, wait, I have these settings and these tools. What tools get me that look? And when I was younger, I'm talking about when I was 13, 14, I was trying to copy like legit side by side, like almost get the exact same color, the exact same filter, as a way of testing myself and seeing how much I could get it to replicate that look. After 9 years, it kind of turned into
In terms of what it is now.
into what
No,
it is now.
it's a great style of photography and a great style of editing. So did you ever have like, or want to get into any kinds of different mediums of photography? Like obviously your main thing is portraits, but did you ever want to try anything else? There's obviously.
Yes, I did. I do look up to like still life. I feel like still life is something I do eventually want to get into. But I feel like I knew I wanted to create a name for myself in the photography world. I wanted to make it exciting for the people that were around me. I wanted my friends to see the pictures and be like, that's actually pretty cool. Like, that's actually, like, I wanted just about anyone to look at it and think it's cool. So, I mean, we're in a world where it's like all social media now. So
100%.
where fashion and fame and all of that is like key to everything. So I definitely wanted to like give them that same. So it's like I would see that people would look up to pictures taken by magazines and put them up on their walls and do all of that just because the picture was that cool.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get to that point where it's like, okay, it's that interesting to look at that they want to put it up on their wall.
No, I mean, you got the photo ability to do it, to be honest.
So
like you had I think it was an art installation not that long ago with your photos too.
Yes,
that it wasn't it. I think it was the Greater Good.
Yeah, so the Greater Good in 2021 last year.
Yeah, and then you had another one recently.
Yeah.
And you had some of your work up there too, and basically people went there, saw it, and loved it, hanging on a wall, just like you just basically described.
Right, I know. It was definitely a surrealistic dream for me. Like, I had been dreaming for this for years prior. Like I don't think a lot of people understand how much of a dream that was for me, or like bucket list achievement, because I would dream for people to come and look at me and print it out in large scale and have people come and gather and just observe it and just be face to face with it, not digitally, not on your phone, but like with
Right there, yeah.
like it looking back at you. And I feel like that just creates a different like atmosphere, a different moment. It's more intimate, and I got to see that and experience and see people experiencing it in a different level, and that was like the highest reward. And it's just like
That's really
there was
cool.
no stopping me after that. I'm like, I'm doing
Heartlock,
more.
your name alone, it already sounds like a name that will make it somewhere.
Wow,
Your name,
thank you.
just Valence Heartlock, it's like just the copyright little logo at the bottom.
Thank you very much.
Cheers to that, my friend.
Cheers to that.
Man, you took that down. Let's find out what this rock beer is. The name at the bottom.
It also gives a mango aftertaste.
The name already. It's called Half Acre. It is a daisy cutter pale ale. Tastes like daisies. Tastes like spring.
I got it right.
What is the percentage? It is 5.2. It's not 5.5. 5.2. You rated it a 4 out of 10. I gave it a 6 out of 10. It wasn't that bad.
It's still making me burp.
Welcome to our trivia round of Beers or Peers. We've never done this before. So we're gonna ask a series of questions, 5 questions in total. Basically, if you get these questions wrong, at the end you have to choose whether to shotgun a beer, chug a beer, or shoey a beer. I hate the word shoey by all means, but that's the choice. These questions aren't pretty hard at all. But don't get them wrong, and then you'll be good.
Don't speak for me.
As I can't even read it. I'm like, turns out I'm illiterate.
Yeah,
Everyone's like,
what's the question say?
I was like,
Make the viewer
can
read it.
someone read this for me? Because I can't read it. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's sorry, my reading glasses aren't on.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, he has glasses on.
It's like he's had the glasses the whole time.
Alrighty, so let's go for the first question.
Okay.
Which ISO produces more noise, 1600 or 100?
100. Is it the 1600 one? Shit, yeah, sorry. I guess I'm chugging a beer. First question in.
No, let's continue. Let's continue.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's continue.
Keep going.
So.
Shit, I didn't know that. Good to know.
Yeah, I like how beforehand you're like, yeah, I just want to let you guys know, I don't know a lot about photography technique. I just know how to take photos. And then
Yeah.
I look at the questions, I'm like,
And they're all about photography. But that makes it funny. I want
shit.
people to know
Yeah,
that
shit.
I don't ever hide the fact that I'm not very smart at the photography.
all right. So why should you get closer to your subject rather than zooming in?
Why should one get closer to a subject?
Rather than zooming in. To be honest, I don't even know the fucking answer to this if it
Well,
wasn't honest.
at least I would get closer because when you're further away, it definitely like doesn't keep the quality. Like I feel like it expands the photo rather than like.
That's an acceptable answer because the answer is you lose depth of field,
Yeah,
and that's exactly what you basically said. So
Sorry,
we'll give you that
see,
one.
I didn't mean it in that term, but I know it flattens
give you that
out
one.
the subject.
Alrighty.
Instead of like making them look more in depth.
When was when was this photo taken and who took the photo? That is the photo.
Oh, okay. This was taken by, I was working with a band, some friends for a band at that time. We were making a music video. It was for a band named Dovey at the time. Yeah.
That's acceptable. That's acceptable. It was taken in January 2019, which, by the way, if you showed me a photo, I'm not gonna remember the fucking date.
Oh yeah, I didn't know the date.
I will give you that answer too.
Okay.
So you got basically 2 out of 3 right. So
Okay.
pásamelo, pásamelo. Alrighty, let's go. Next question. When did this film premiere? I can't even read anymore. When did this film premiere? And then I gotta swipe apparently. When did this premiere?
Okay, that premiered. Oh, there's actually two dates for me. It was actually 2 separate dates. But because I premiered it one day, so that should have been October 30th. It was when it premiered.
So did you get the date wrong, or did he get the date wrong? I'm pretty sure you got the date right.
The second.
Because it actually premiered and I sold it to a few people and it premiered October 30th, the day before Halloween. And then I actually released it like the next, which I think 2 days after, which was like November 1st. Or
So it's November 6th,
yeah,
but you know what?
the week after, sorry, so then it was the week.
We're gonna give you that answer because you know better about your own movie
But
premiere
that's what I
than we
meant,
do.
like, because I had 2 separate things. Like I had an actual premiere for people that bought it a whole week before, and then for the regular people that didn't buy it, and I was just gonna upload it to YouTube. It premiered the 6th.
Alrighty, so last question. How many short films did you release in 2020?
Oh, short films in 2020. I should have 1. 2? 2?
Apparently it says 2.
Did I do? I think I did. Oh my god!
So you got 2 out of the 5 questions
Okay, so
right,
that's
or 2 out of 5 questions wrong, right? So you answered them.
Yeah.
So pass me the beer. All right, take off the boot, my friend.
Okay.
If I didn't catch this would have hit my face and it would have been very awkward. I don't know how I feel about the shoe thing still.
Neither do I. Oh.
Now pour it. Pour as much as you want, my friend. You know what? And then,
Oh, it's in there for sure.
well, I mean, you poured it in there.
I know, but it shocked me. Like there's a lot. Okay.
Hey man, I'm with you, man. I'll drink the beer. I'm not showing it, but I'll drink the beer with you.
Wait, I should probably take off my glasses.
That'd be smart.
Okay, here we go to getting questions wrong out of things I do. Okay. Yeah, that went all over. Come on. Yeah.
And that is the end of our trivia round. Thank you for doing the questions. Let's move on. This is the very last beer. How are you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling very good.
Your eyes look like they're feeling great.
Yeah, I feel great. I definitely chose to hide behind these.
No, it's a great idea, man. Like, trust me, without my eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Without my eyes, they just pop them out.
Those are your eyes.
Hey, man, I can't see shit. Like, everything's just a blur. I'm like, what's going on back there?
Yeah.
Without my glasses, man, everyone could see, like, how, like, fucked up my eye is. This is a little darker than our last beer.
Looks like the color of our shirts.
Kind of does.
It's literally the same color.
It's a little bit. I know you're not too hyped for this. Hey, man, we got this. We got this.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Doesn't taste like they all taste the same. Like water mixed with like
Rocks.
yeah, and like a different fragrance. This time,
It's not the.
this time,
It's not the Alpine. It's
This
not.
time
It's like
it's
it's the lavender fragrance.
yeah, this time's lavender.
So, besides photography, you do videography, or kind of film, honestly.
Right.
So you shot recently and I think you put it out in December 2021, was your music video for Sure Son.
Yes.
So tell me a little about that. I liked like some of the shots you did were kind of like, I think did you use a drone, by the way?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I was like, I wanted to ask, like, I was
Yeah.
like, did you use a drone for this?
That's how I got a lot of the vision.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about the shoot itself.
So Sure Son, Tyler told me he wanted a music video. We had already worked on a photo shoot previously, and he mentioned to me that he had been wanting a cool music video for one of his songs that he was gonna release, and I was totally for it. I had time available at that time, and he was like, I want to shoot a really cool music video. I want you to shoot it. I want it to be very vintage. I want it to be very like, he just gave me a lot of like keywords on what he wanted, like very playful color and very retro, like definitely add some trippy vibes in there, and that was
100% with the effects you have with it kind of spinning.
Yeah,
it very does look trippy.
He wanted to definitely include like a really cool like. He only gave me very small details, honestly, on what he wanted. I only picked up from what he works and what he does, and kind of threw in a little bit of my own style to it. So when he came up to me, and now I charged him very cheap for it, honestly. Like I was like, he wanted something very small. He told me I want something very simple, very like, and I was like, okay, I'll charge you this much for it. And he was like, okay, yeah, like that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Like, but me doing everything I do, I don't like to put something out and it be just like half-assed. Like,
no, I got what you mean.
Everything I put out, at least if it has my name, I want it to be something very spectacular, something name-calling, very like just very eye-catching and
very Valence Hartlock.
right.
Yeah, like it has to have that staple, man. It has to have that staple.
I definitely wanted to integrate that, so I was like, okay. And then it was actually shot very easy. It was shot in 2 days, and we shot it very fast. Like, probably took us an hour for the first part, and then another hour the day of. So in total, like 2 hours it took us to actually shoot that whole thing.
Really? Oh my god.
It's been one of the easiest things I've shot, just because I chose to shoot on simple forms. Like, I was like, okay, he's paying me for something. At the time, I didn't know him as well. We didn't have such a good friendship, so I was treating him like a customer. Like, okay, he wants something like this. I want to give him something. I want to impress him like everyone I work for. I definitely want to, like, anyone that hires me, I want to definitely impress them and make them their money worth what they're paying me for. So I was like, okay, he wants a cool music video. Let's shoot this, but I wanted to make it easy and also accessible. Like, I didn't want it to be like difficult, impossible. Like, we couldn't solve it. I had a really cool vintage truck. I still have a really cool vintage blue truck that my dad had given me. I knew I wanted to integrate it, and Sure Son has that vintage style. So I was like, okay, I have a vintage truck. We can shoot it. We can shoot you driving it. It was supposed to be him driving it by the desert and just be this cool color scheme stuff. Plans changed when we get there. The truck actually dies on me there on the place. Like, it just doesn't want to turn on, and it's like, well, it's broke down here. We're like, well, we're just gonna have to show. I was like, well, let's just shoot you trying to get to your show. Like, you were on your way to a night show, and your car happened to break down, and you're just gonna keep walking the whole entire way there. And so that's essentially what the video took form to. And it was
That's really cool. Yeah, make do what you got.
And that's how we got those cool shots of him walking through the desert, was because that's literally where the car broke down. It was just supposed to be videos of him driving through the streets. I just took him far out because I wanted the roads to be a little bit more empty. But it ended up looking really cool. And
no, it came out really dark.
The other part at the studio. We shot it there, and it just turned out to be really cool.
No, it was a really dope music video. Honestly, I watched. I was like, oh my god, I love the
really
colors.
Fun. The drone shots were really cool. We did it all like in a few takes, and we did it pretty fast. And on it, he gave me months to edit, and that's the secret to like me being able to put something out, is if I'm given my time. Like, I don't like to.
Yeah, you're not rushed.
Like, I promise you that I'm working on it. It's just, it takes me time. Sometimes I look at it and I hate it, and I just have to stop looking at it for 2 days, and I go back to it and I love it, or I find the reason why I hated it, and I take everything with time. And Tyler kept giving me my time, and he kept reassuring me, like, dude, take your time. And I didn't know exactly how much time he was giving me, so I didn't want to take advantage of that, and oh, this dude paid me already, I have to give him this video for sure. And he just kept pushing it back. He's like, dude, I don't want to release it until next year. And so I was like, okay. So then it wasn't until like April that I finally was like, okay, it's done. So it took me like in total like 4 months to like be able to like really play with the effects, really play with the colors, and I feel like that's what
No, it shows. It shows. I was gonna say sures.
it sure.
Sure sons. There we go. No, it does show. It does show. No, it shows that you put a lot of time and effort into making that video. Some of the shots you did too were very unique. Did you just finish that beer?
Oh yeah. Your turn.
Oh my god, I was just like,
Tastes like mango.
tastes like
That's history. That's a first.
I know.
All guests ever finished
Look
a
at
beer.
that. Hey, wait. A round of applause.
I was like,
man.
I should rather get it done with now.
Yeah, I know, he was done with it.
I was like, if I stop it now, I have to go through the whole experience of like this did not taste good. Thank you.
So let's go over this beer. Let's see what this guy is.
Yeah.
Actually, me, you do the honors. Okay.
Boom. Boom. Dynamite IPA.
Why were we talking about bombs?
That was actually, I guess, it was that setup. That was all set up.
That
was set up by production.
This is all set up. The setup. There's no way they chose that. No, the timer went off.
That was purposely set up.
Imagine that timer went off. We're like, let's review the beer. Boom.
Yeah,
And then next thing you know, we
that
got
would have been the
bomb.
perfect ending. Boom. This is like the type of drink you see in a low budgeted film in the background of a store and they couldn't pay for the
They can't pay for the.
so they hand make them and they just
It's
put it in
an
the background.
IPA, definitely had grapefruit. Not fun.
That did not taste like grapefruit. Nah, it's like grapefruit. It did not.
What'd you give it out of 10?
It tasted like the same like the first one, like kind of like that.
So what do you give it out of 1 to 10? At 6, 4,
That's 6.
6?
Better than a 4. The other one.
Daisy went to 4.
Disrespect. I'm just kidding.
Honestly,
Those dandelions. Or
Yeah.
whatever that was.
those dandelions. They cut
They
it.
were no.
They cut it in there.
I
Honestly, I give it a
mean,
6.
I mean, I think you can see the difference in me from that second drink.
Wall Street, you're a little more drunk in
That
this
is right.
sense.
I guess you're right.
Well, that's a wrap for our show.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very much.
so much for being on the show.
No,
man.
thank you,
It's
thank
such
you.
a great pleasure.
It was an honor being here.
If you have anything you want to shout out, go ahead. That is your camera right there.
No, just shout out to you guys for having me here and doing such a cool show. I
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
so much,
Yeah,
honestly.
thank you.
Well, thank you for watching Beers and Peers. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, I'll catch you guys later.